10:32 p.m. I checked in with Amy and told her that the midwives were on their way. Amy was clearly occupied with the no longer described as crampy contractions and pacing around the house.
I think things are moving much more quickly than I thought.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means you should call the midwife back and tell her that things are moving much more quickly than I thought.
10:35 p.m. Hi, Beth. It's Dan. Amy says things are moving more quickly than she thought. Amy, what do you mean by quickly?
I mean intense. I mean quick. I mean intense and quick.
Hi, Beth. She says the contractions are intense and quick. So, sounds good. See you when you get here. I reassured Amy that they were on their way and went back to assembling the birth tub piece by piece in the living room while Amy continued to pace.
I had to really move now to keep the energy moving through my body. It felt as though this powerful birthing energy could get stuck, build up, and overwhelm me if I didn't help move it through. And the only way to move it through was to surrender to it, to become a vessel for it, so no part of me was blocking it. The funny thing here is that I am it. Now, as I think about it, there really was no surrendering to or becoming a vessel for something else. Rather, it was just a matter of being present and whole. The only way it could overwhelm me, the only way I could block that powerful birthing energy and thwart its function is if I was under the false assumption that it was separate from me. Thinking, and all of its false assumptions and flights of fancy away from the here and now, could lead me astray away from my own being, away from the experience of my own being. Feeling ruled supreme. And so when my water broke on the kitchen floor just minutes later, and my contractions compelled me down to all fours, and my body began to involuntarily bear down, and my moans turned into purpose-filled growls, I wasn't thinking, will I be able to do this without the midwives? Or even, will he be okay? I was simply feeling my way through each moment, my body moving according to its own deeply held wisdom. What a dramatically different way of experiencing myself. Most of the time, I perceive my body from the vantage point of my mind. Far less often, my body is the center of my consciousness. When I am this in my body and out of my mind, it is really, really hard to talk. So when Dan and the midwives asked me, how's it going? I could barely just grunt out a few descriptives. Shortly after getting on all fours, I could feel him coming. Call him back and tell them he's coming, I said through a grunt.
10:40 p.m. Beth, Dan, what do I do if he comes out before you get here? Okay, all right, get some baby towels and a hat and keep them warm and put them skin to skin. Okay, hurry, I said. Bye. I told Amy that I talked to the midwives and rushed away to get the suggested supplies. In some degree of panic, I searched through the highly organized closet where all of his baby supplies were stored, ignoring the labeled bags specifically organized for this purpose that were on the living room floor. Baby towels, baby towels. I ran back into the living room and unfurled one of the towels I just got. Zippers, I said. These have zippers. I have to get other ones.
No, just be with me here now, I pleaded.
Hold on. They told me I have to get baby towels, and these ones with zippers won't work. I ran to the closet and frantically pulled out anything that looked like it would work and checked the zippers. This'll work, I told myself. I got back into the living room, and Amy was still on all fours, but now making some sort of animal noise.
He's coming.
Wait, 10:48.
Oh, 10:48 p.m. He's coming.
What do you mean he's coming?
There's the head, I said, reaching down. Get him, get him. I grabbed Dan's hand, replacing my own.
I could feel the top of his head. Slowly, I said. And gently, the rest of his slippery little body slid out, navigating around Amy's leg. I brought him up so Amy could hold him. I grabbed a baby towel and wrapped him up as instructed. That is when the shocking reality of the moment struck me. I was responsible here. Things could be horribly wrong. I didn't know how to fix it if something was wrong. Deep internal panic.
The cord is around his neck.
Amy's voice snapped me out of it. She calmly said,
Take it off.
he squeaked once. He opened an eye. He looked fine to me.
I'll never forget the feeling of him moving down and out. Intense pressure on my bottom, bones moving, muscles working, tissues stretching, and then a little bit of burning as I reached the peak of my expansion. I put my hand between my legs and knew that I'd feel the top of his head, and there it was, warm and wet. Then immediately replacing the intensity was the sweet, euphoric feeling of release. I looked down, still on all fours, and saw our son for the very first time. I was struck by how relaxed his face looked. He looked far less amazed than we were by what just happened. "You're okay, it's okay," I repeated it aloud as I brought him to my chest and rubbed his back. He was okay, and I knew it deep down. What a magnificent moment, and it was all ours. The world outside our little living room was none the wiser as we held this incredible being in our arms for the very first time. No fanfare announced his arrival. No expert witness was there to make it real. It was our sweet and quiet, life-transformative moment, miraculous and unique, but as much normal and universal. Dan and I locked wide eyes as we held our newly born son. I will always remember the look of amazement on Dan's face and the feel of it on mine. Our minds were blown. Our plans for an assisted home birth were also blown to smithereens. We were on step 2 of the 15-step process of putting together the birth tub. When life happened, the mind-blowing part, we were ready for it. All that we needed was within us and between us. As an often others-directed worrywart, a planner, and a scriptwriter, the lesson is profound. In the heat of the dynamic, unplanned-for moment, I am confident and decisive. Not only can I trust myself in these moments, but I do, fiercely and wholeheartedly. I will cherish and hold close this self-insight as I continue on my parenting journey.
10:51 p.m. Beth, Dan, he's here. Yeah, he looks fine to us. Made noise, eyes open, got him wrapped up, just hanging out. Okay, hurry, gotta go. I went back and checked on Amy and Leo in the living room. We continued our amazing staring as time stood still. 11:15 p.m. I saw the front door open and a giant wake dropped away. The midwives sprang into action. Well, they more accurately blended into the scene without fanfare and began assessing Leo and Amy. The party was now complete, seemingly after the candles had been blown out, but appreciated guests nonetheless. We sat for a while and laughed. Our daughter, Aoife, stirred in the next room, and I went in and got her. I want to introduce you to your brother.